All right, and we're back. Sorry, everybody. I was plugging in my husband's the cord for the laptop he's on right now, and the power strip we have, the power off switch is so delicate. You tell it it's a bad boy, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Don't you put this shit on me?
Huh?
So don't you put this shit on me?
No, it was my fault. I was plugging it in, but like I just went to grab the power strip to put the thing in, and I happened to just brush by it and went.
That's what pro wife moves look like right there. She said, she was like, yeah, I was admitting to fault, but she made it sound like I did it.
It is a pro wife move. I'm only taking notes right now.
I totally just explained how it happened. I was plugging the laptop cord in.
My husband's.
There's a lot of emphasis on whose possession it was, and not that he was a person, that he was just purely a husband.
I didn't mean it like that. I was flustered and sad because we were doing so well without the technical difficulty.
Own it.
What you did was good. Don't apologize.
Lean into it. Don't ever apologize for anything. If anyone calls you out, you say, yeah, my husband's.
Yeah. Then you punch that child in the face is what you do.
All right. To get back to it, Rebecca, you had your moment of meditation. You have your cats purring quietly in your lap. You got a notice from your avatar. It was just after that you were saying what you were doing next, and that was when I kind of went poof.
Yeah. So, like, after kind of having a moment to at least try and get like balance in the brain in terms of like we just saw some shit. Yeah. She is going to probably group text everyone, and it's gonna say, so we drinking? 5 question marks. And then underneath it, or like next text is, that was a rhetorical, and then underneath that one is, we're drinking, and then the next one is, meet me at like blank vampire bar.
Okay, now before anybody responds, I'm going to take a note of that, but we got to do this right in timeline for specific reasons. So, noted.
Cool.
I will let everyone know when they get it. Okay. In that case, all right, Abraham has had his bit of the early evening to have his meditation. Rebecca has done the same. Abraham did head home. Rebecca, are you heading home? Or actually, you know what? Even if you're not heading home, because you said you're going to go find a place to drink, where do you think you're going to stay? Because I know you found out your apartment should be safe again, but you also still feel a little...
She might peek her head in, like test those waters.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, like couch surfing between the vampires is feeling a little shitty, you know?
Yeah.
Theo's got a coffin you can sleep in.
That is so sweet, and she'd never do it. That's fucking terrible.
That's fine. He also has an Iron Maiden. It's authentic.
Oh, that's so cool, and like still just terrifying.
So, in the meantime, before either Abraham heads home and Rebecca sends that text, Luther, Theo, and Dinah, you awake in Theo's place. Dinah, you awake in a room that it's a little dusty, but it was a pretty clean room. It was a nice bed and only had a few weird trinkets in it. Luther, you did awaken in that coffin. You feel pretty good. Oh, maybe you don't know if you like it or you're surprised or how you feel just yet.
I'm sure it'd feel like anytime you sleep in like a weird bed, like you just like you're not sure. But he would wait until Dinah opened it up just to come out of it like a Nosferatu, like the classic
just so you know, it is
adorable.
It is hinged in the middle. And it actually does have like it leans back and leans up, so like you can choose how you want to. You can lean forward. Theo doesn't recommend it, but you could like lean it forward and spill yourself out.
Okay. But he would still wait for Dinah to open it just so he could come out as a, as a fucking the longest joke of all.
So Dinah, you awaken. House is very quiet. You don't hear
Where
anyone
did Dinah
moving.
sleep? In a bed or in a coffin?
She got
I'm
a
slept
bed.
on a bed.
Filthy. I've never cleaned that bed.
House is quiet. And you know that unless he left already, Luther might still be in that coffin.
No, yeah, she just gets out of bed and like tries to look around for Luther. Because she knows he wakes up about the same time she does usually.
It takes you a moment, a little groggy after night drinking with the Baron again, but then you remember he decided to try and actually sleep in that coffin downstairs.
Alright. Yeah, so she'll kind of like knock on the coffin that she knows Luther's in.
Bleh.
You gonna make me
give us
open this coffin.
Come on now, just open up the coffin.
Oh Lord, I can't deny you theatrics. And she just opens the coffin and jumps back like a B movie, like damn.
Theo takes offense at the idea you guys can hear each other through the coffin. That is some quality, hard, scary work.
Okay, but
You're not just talking through.
Yeah, it's solid. Like Luther like push it up like a fraction of an inch to be like, no, just open it,
Yeah.
When you open it, he'll raise up. I want to suck your blood. Oh, come on, this is too good. I can't believe he even has it.
all right. Like she throws it back and like does the whole like B movie poster, like.
I don't know why you want to sleep in one. This is one of the greatest things I feel like one of us.
Is it though?
Maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a little bit disrespectful. But I kind of.
I didn't say disrespectful. I just didn't say it was the greatest.
so as a maybe not a fact, but a very well inferred fact, Kindred do dream, but I do believe they're like dead when they sleep. There's not tossing and turning. So actually a coffin wouldn't be bad.
All right.
So
And that was a sleep number coffin, so.
So now
Sleep number coffin.
What
That
is
was one of his old ones. You didn't ask to see the new ones.
what is Luther's sleep number?
8. It's easily an 8.
Holy shit!
I would like to think like
Like a
Zin,
bird
or not
nest.
Zin, that Abraham's is like an 11. Like I had to up it even worse because he's like, no, I'm used to sleeping on the floor.
I am not. I just like a firm bed.
So now Luther and Dinah, I need to know what you're doing over the next 4 hours before you get the text from Rebecca.
I know what
Dinah
we're
wants
doing.
to go see the prince.
Yeah, we're going to the prince to go talk about our new babies that we have to go fucking adopt.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna downtime all the like minor details. So you contact the prince. He is busy for a little bit early in the evening, but he says he can squeeze you in for a very short amount of time if it's not supposed to be a long meeting, like a good 15 to 30 minute meeting at best, and says to meet him around 10:30. So you two maybe just go out on the town. Luther enjoys his new ride with Dinah for a little bit, and you guys head over to the plantation. Blah, 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 blah. Attendees take you back to the room.
I love
You
how
see
they
the-
just slept in my house and just fucking ditched Theo.
I didn't
Oh,
even
man.
have a choice. We just fucking spear
That was more of
forces
a jab at
to
Spear.
ghost.
Theo doesn't even get to wake up y'all, or like bounce out. You like leave a note, like
To be
"Thanks for the
fair,
night."
that
you around
might be
town.
something we would do. We'd be like, this place is gross now that I'm sober. And we need to get out. Theo's not up. Let's
It wouldn't be wrong. Just saying.
Yeah.
No, Dinah would bring up to Luther that she plans on not only adopting at least one or two of the new people, but she's wanted to sire her own child for quite a while.
You want to talk this conversation out?
If you want to.
If
How about you
Spira
guys? Yeah, let's have you do that on the ride. So you two are driving to the plantation. It's not a very long drive, but it's long enough for you guys to start to like hash out your early feelings about this.
So, we're going to be adopting a few, huh?
yeah. I look, it's just me and you in here, so I'm gonna say it like they aren't. I want you to adopt them. That's not where I'm going, but where I am going with this is just saying I feel like they're gonna be a little bit more rambunctious than you are.
Most likely.
You're gonna have your hands full. It's just plain and simple. Out of all of them, we'd be lucky if half of them doesn't try and go back to the old family and tell them about what happened.
You're right, of course. You usually are. But I just think they should be given that chance.
I want to give them that chance. And look, as you know, my mom, my father, they knew what I was. You know, there was no hiding it. They knew what Vincent was. But back then, it was a different time, and that's neither here or there. But what we are talking about is the fact that they're going to want to be with who they should be with, and if you
families.
Yeah, and if you do adopt a couple, if they do
Honestly,
go back to the old family, I won't punish them.
Honestly, I'm mostly planning on just educating them on what they are now, what the general rules are, what different things are. Let them know they're always welcome, and teach them kind of how to hunt so they don't hurt nobody by accident by being too hungry, and then kind of just letting them go because I didn't sire them. They were just there. They deserve to figure out the way they want to do things.
You're just gonna let them go?
If they want to go, they're welcome to stay if they want to. I want them to know that they don't have to stay because they'll push back if they think they have to.
Luther will kind of give her a look of like, oh yeah? Come on now, you know you're a big softy. You're not going to let them just go run free. You're going to, and I'm not saying you're going to hold on to them, but I'm sure you're going to keep in touch with them. You know?
I am. You're right.
I know I am.
But, no, I actually have another, and it might be a little bit more risky to ask now, what with the sudden influx of new kindred. But, I've wanted to sire my own child for quite a while now. Decade at least, and I was kind of waiting for the opportunity to prove my worth, and I think I did. So I'm thinking about asking this time.
What's one more? You know, we already got 10 new ones. What's one more to add?
You got my back.
Look, you know me, I'm all for it. I know you want one of your own for a while, so we've done a lot of favors, obviously, and I'll stand by it no matter what choice you make. I'll even tell the prince I think you're ready if he ever asks me. You know, we're not close, but we're close. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, but he might also say no and make you wait till this whole ordeal is done and run this as a what would we say, a test run of sorts. He might make you see if you can carry one of these for a little bit and then see if you can handle your own.
Carry someone else's? Like a vampire day camp? You practice with other people's kids?
Kinda, yeah, like an apprentice of sorts to see if you can handle one of your own, and then see if you could
I feel like I can handle one of my own much better.
Exactly.
But we'll see. I want to see if I can't ask. I was thinking maybe Heather, who is the one of my heard. She's a very talented drummer. She often contacts me to come see a lot of her shows, and I just think she's got a good head for it, and she'd be all right if she'd accept.
That sounds like a perfect toreador to me.
That's what I thought.
Well, I mean, hell, ain't no harm in asking. You do it. You're strong. You'll make him say yes, I'm sure.
Thanks, but I appreciate an ally in the room.
Well, yeah, I'll be there. You know that.
I'm willing to vouch for my character, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll be a perfect witness as to your strong personality and maternal instinct.
Thank you ever so much, sir.
Course. Oh.
What about you? Did you ever think about siring a child?
Me? Lord, no. Come on now.
Why is that? Can I ask that?
I don't know. Come on. Who even knows how much longer I'm going to be in New Orleans, or the day that I gamble my own life for something silly and, I'm out of here. I don't want to have some child hunting down for revenge in my life because I do something like that. It's just not something I want. Right now, it's just me and Vincent and you, and we play our games and we do what we do, and I like it that way. I don't need to mix it up with nothing else. And if you ask me to be the godfather of whatever person you sire, that is one thing. But as far as making my own, I think I'll stay right where I am. You ain't gotta be no
godfather. Maybe a nice uncle that shows up every once in a while and teaches him how to play a mean poker. But no, you ain't gotta be no godfather. That'd be my responsibility.
If that is all my responsibility, I will be happy. But with all the danger we keep on throwing ourselves into, who knows what you'll ask?
Well, I'm not looking to build an army or nothing like that. I'm just trying to preserve the tradition of my own sire, which is you find talented artists and you try to preserve that artistry. Try to keep it alive and pay that forward if they accept it,
Oh, I know. And he'll say yes. We know that. I mean, we're not some children kindred running around. We're older now. He relies on us, and he knows that he has to pay it to us. So I know we're having this conversation saying it might be yes, it might be no, but come on, we both know what he's going to say. He's going to have to say yes to you at least sometime.
I certainly hope so, and I definitely appreciate your optimism. Thank
you. Yeah, I mean, it's a gamble, but I always have to think that we're going to come out on top, you know what I'm
saying? Yeah. Us Toreadors got to stick together.
That's right.
So on the rest of the ride, the two of you continue with a small bit of chit-chat about your ideas of how many maybe you could handle taking under your wing, your trepidations, like, because, you're older and you even understand when you were a child. It's basically when you were a child, you think about, like, what you would do when you have one of your own. A little more of that conversation goes on for a little bit, and you arrive at the plantation. We are going to take a short little break right here before we continue on, mainly because I really need it. And then we will get back to it in about 2 minutes. Everybody in the chat, as always, feel free to ask us questions. Let us know how you're doing tonight. We like to talk with you guys as much as we can. That's why we're playing a game. And we will be back to it very shortly.
Hey, Elvish.
Yeah.
Nice hairpin, girl. It's a solid hairpin. Super.
I just kind of had it sitting on my desk from when I had long hair, like forever ago. I found it in an old box, And I went, will it stay? And it does. And it gives me this weird 1920s vibe, and I kind of dig it.
It's amazing.
Well, a 1920s vibe, you say?
Kind of do, though. And do that, do.
I have to buy curlers. I'm gonna. It's on my list of things to buy. Some curlers. For reasons.
For reasons?
Well,
like,
you know, next year, it will be, not next year, but the year after, excuse me, it will be 2020. And the 20s back. And I fully intend on bringing back a bunch of 1920s fashion.
Oh, so is it going to be the yelling 20s?
The yelling 20s? It might be.
Oh.
I fully intend on throwing, because I will be, oh shit, no, damn it. I was really hoping it would work out, but it's not quite gonna. I just turned 29. I will be 30 next year. I was like, oh, I'll throw a giant I turned 30 party in 2020, but I'll be 31. But I plan on throwing a giant 1920s Great Gatsby
oh shit,
party
my
somewhere.
golden year is in the 20s. That's gonna be fun.
That is
I
fun.
was gonna say, ladies, you have the liberty to just lie.
Right? Well, no, like my golden, like, cause you know cause I'm born on the 28th of the month, and they say that like, so when your 28th birthday happens on the 28th of the month, like, you know.
Mine passed when I was 3.
Yeah, so your golden year was when you were 3. My golden year is when I'm 28.
I was in middle school.
So basically, yeah, it's supposed to be the best, quote unquote, it's supposed to be the best year of your life. It only really matters to people who are in their 20s, though, I think, because otherwise, like, what do you have?
Right.
I don't know. I feel like that might be accurate because I hated middle school decidedly less than most people seem to. So, like, I think that says something.
Are you on a 10th? Yeah?
13.
13.
So, 7 days.
Yeah, well, so I've heard Elvish say that it's a week after hers, so I put 7 days after that. That's why I guessed the 10th.
Yeah.
You know what annoys me about that fact? Because I don't think I've ever heard that before. The whole golden thing. Oh, she left and I thought she might enjoy it. It's not important.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. So, well, Hope left, so actually we could jump back into it for now, with Luther and Dinah arriving at Marcel's plantation with the specific objective of talking to the prince about their plans. As I said, downtiming all the fun details, because you guys have walked in this place tons of times. And the prince said, like, he does have time for you, but it's going to be a short window. You're actually brought to a different room. You're actually brought upstairs, down a long hallway. It actually takes it feels like you're walking for a little while, making you realize how big this place actually is, because you've only been in, like, kind of the front parlors. And you're taken to a room that is... So between the carpet and the colors on the walls and the furniture looks kind of antiquated, very vintage, but also brought up a bit more to vintage or modern standards. There's a brand new desk with a very, like, you know, new computer, not top of the line for gaming, but top of the line for any business needs that someone would want, with a very nice monitor and all those sorts of things. You see Prince Marcel sitting behind it and typing, not excellently, but pretty good for someone who is his age and probably doesn't do much on the computer unless it's necessary. So, you know, little slower, but he's still he's using all 4 fingers just slowly. And he nods at you while you come in, though still looking at the screen, and then a second later says, "Please, Luther, Dinah, sit down."
Thank you, Marcel, and he'll take a seat.
So what is it I can help you with tonight?
We wanted to come and speak to you about the youngins what stayed here last night, so to speak.
It takes him a second. It seems as if he's a little distracted with whatever else he's been dealing with, but then he nods suddenly. Yes, the recently embraced, the ones that... Yes, of course. What about them?
Well, we wanted to know if anyone had come up and if they were spoken for, or what the plan was for.
Again, Marcel goes quiet for a little time, kind of digesting what you asked and thinking. You can see the gears moving through his head, and he starts nodding along. Yes, of course. It's barely been 24 hours. We're trying not to interrogate them too harshly. We want them to remain stress-free. We had to, of course, make sure some of them were fed, since it seemed that they hadn't been. As much as I've gathered so far, though, it does seem that none of them actually remember or understand what happened. Maybe some of them sort of worked it out, or they were able to get a few words while imprisoned from the other kindred, the ones that understood what was going on. But no, it doesn't look like we either have sires to return them to, or if we did, they're not the ones we want to hand them back to, as it were. So, of course, New Orleans, and I myself as the prince of this city, have always prided ourselves as being home to wayward kindred outcasts, even more so than some anarch cities. So I am, and you see him like kind of drift off for a second and type something more on the computer and then look back at you, trying to do my best to sort out exactly what we can do with these kindred, because I certainly am in... I have no interest, as some other princes might, in just culling the unwanted herd.
See, this is why I like you, Marcel. You got a good heart.
Thank you, Dinah.
I would like to volunteer myself as part of their education, if that's all right. I may even claim a few dependent.
He taps his index finger on the desk a couple times and he says, "Do you mean as like an adoptive sire?"
Yes, dependent. Though in general, I am absolutely volunteering my services as to explain what they are, what that means, educating them as to our culture, how to hunt safely, how to find good grounds that aren't infringing on others' territory. If they decide to go back to their families, how to live that life in relative obscurity. Just generally helping them to educate them as to what's happened and what they are now and what that might mean.
He nods almost a little manically and says, "Yes, Dinah, I appreciate your offer for such a situation, because of course one problem might be these numbers. On one hand, I don't feel that it might be too burdensome on New Orleans, but at the same time, it might behoove kindred in general and them to perhaps go somewhere else. But of course, it can't just ship them off to another city without them understanding what they need to understand. So, and you can see like just another little kind of like quick twitch in his shoulder. He's got a lot on his mind. Yes, no, I appreciate that. And he like glances at Luther, but doesn't say anything to him, and glances back to Dinah. I appreciate that. As I gather more information from these individuals about their families, their previous lives, I will be in contact and let you know who might best be suited under your wing.
That would be wonderful. I do have, honestly, a little bit of an awkward request, considering the circumstances.
What would that be?
I She kind of draws herself up a little bit. I would like to sire my own.
He takes a deep breath in, and you don't see him breathe normally. You know, in social situations, if he has to, he can do it for humans and all, but it seems like an old kick to the knee, or like, you know, jab on the, like, kneecap, that he just does it Dinah, you have been a stand-up member of New Orleans society for many, many years. So this is a request I would not normally have too many qualms against, but I think at this juncture, with these fledglings, until we can have them settled, and hopefully some of them in other cities, I will need to postpone that request.
Now, Marcel, I don't mean to step out of bounds on this, but let's look at what Dinah has done for you over the last few weeks. Maybe as long as you are saying, as soon as we get these batch of kindred out of the way, she can go to it, but something a little bit more definitive, if I could.
Marcel, who was very tight-shouldered, fingers paused above his keyboard, decides to relax a little in his chair, closes his eyes for a moment, and again goes quiet for a little while, and then says, slowly opening his eyes, Dinah, if you had come to me with this request out of the blue before any of this happened, I would have been amenable to it, and would have simply needed a little bit of time to think about it, and ask you some questions, sort out the finer details of why you wanted to, and who you had in mind. But in this case, I will say, if you take on at least 1 to 2 of these fledglings on your own to teach them the basics that they need to survive, so that they do not need to meet final death by tradition's means, because I never liked that one personally. And if they learn what they need to, and I feel that they'll be able to survive on their own, we can maybe even connect them with someone else in another city who can take them on for another few years, I will approve your request without any question of whom.
Thank you. And I do understand it's awkward because we have a sudden influx of population. I don't mean to impose on you in an awkward time.
As I said, if it weren't for what was going on currently, this would be a completely different circumstance. So I am actually giving you a quicker route that will otherwise take a little time.
In fact, I understand that, and I thank you.
Of course. Luther, please tell me you're not asking the same.
What?
No, he ain't.
Lord, no. Nope. I mean, I'm probably gonna have my hands full, just trying to help Dinah out with hers. I don't need my own.
All right. Well, he scratches the back of his neck and into his hair again. I do have a fair bit more to finish this evening. If that was your main point of interest, I approve your help and appreciate it. I will be in contact with you soon, very quickly, about that. These people need help, and I need help with them. And like I said, Dinah, if this works out well, I will have no problem with you siring.
All right. Would you like me to talk to some of them today?
No. Let's wait another couple days. I have the attendants speaking to them. They're ghouls, but I think they are closer in tune with their more recent life than you might be. They're just getting food, as it were, and some rest for now. I want to give them a couple days to just come back to sorts.
All right.
Also, I just want to say I don't want to sigh a child, but I'm obviously here, Marcel, to help you with our recent influx of kindred with Dinah. If she takes on two, I'll probably take on two myself.
I appreciate that, Luther. I am, in fact, going to reach out to a few other kindred in the city that I think might also be interested. I think Roxy might have room for someone in her life with so many of her own having disappeared lately. But yes, I will be in contact very shortly, a day or two, and he kind of waves.
Perfect.
And
Especially
looking annoyed at the computer like I'm just sort of trying to get everything in order.
And I appreciate the haste, especially since often the thing that marks Caitiff as Caitiff is not that they're lower generation, but that they have no sire to speak for them.
Exactly.
So I think haste in that case might be most important for those who favor color.
Of course. As I said, I do apologize. I don't mean to rush you off, but I have both your reports, other reports. I have some other unfortunate situations that have come up recently over the last day or two, and I need to get these sorted as quickly as I can. But trust me, within 48 hours, you will hear from me.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Marcel, thank you.
Have a good evening.
You as well.
And as you two are starting to walk out of the plantation, you will get the text from Rebecca about drink, maybe? Yes? No, drink now. Yes.
I can't tell if she's actually asking us to drink or no.
She basically asked, can we drink? And then she went, we're gonna drink.
Right? Yeah, it was, so we're drinking tonight, 5 question marks, followed by that was a rhetorical question, followed by we're drinking tonight, followed by here's the...
All right. Apparently we're going drinking tonight.
After last night. Okay.
I know. That's the one good thing about this is that we don't get hangovers.
Theo asks if it's text back if it's a pet-friendly bar.
Oh wait, Theo? No, I have you in a second, then you'll get the text. Abraham, you get the text as you're like walking home or getting a ride home, whichever you prefer.
I kind of imagined that it would have been like while I was still there, because I went and like did a couple things.
That's right, that's the timeline I wanted. So yeah, you're at the park, you get that, and you knowing your somber attitude might make you laugh.
I will pull my phone out real quick and check and make sure it's not an emergency, and I will have sent visiting an old friend, which Theo will recognize probably as a thing, and it's like the one thing that Abraham does not tolerate joking around with. So, like, visiting an old friend, and Theo will know what that means, and we'll be out of it.
Theo would text back, and
Wait, no, you don't get to text yet. We need a second. Shut up. So back at Theo's place, after Luther and Dinah leave off to the princes, you awaken and, come downstairs, and you see the Baron just kind of literally, like, one finger poking at some of your trinkets. Like, just kind of, like, seeing what texture and materials they're made out of.
Hey, that's valuable. Don't make me put it on your room tab.
Oh, you know I can pay.
Yeah, but I like that one.
Fair enough. And he puts both hands up as if, he was caught in a crime.
I'll hand him, like, another shrunken skull, but it's clearly, like, got the jagged edges. It's 3D printed. He's like, here, I picked this up. It's a fidget toy.
The Baron walks up, not uncomfortably close, but just within a couple feet of you, and you notice this might be one of the rare times you actually haven't seen him with a cigar. And maybe you're just a little, not uncomfortable, but you notice that difference. and there's even a slightly more serious look on his face. And he says, "What do you plan to do when you speak with Bridget?"
Who the hell's Bridget? Okay, context clues. He gets it. I don't plan on doing anything. She wants to speak to you and Mama.
Yes, but you're going to end up meeting with her again before you meet with either of us.
I mean, I suppose I'll die unless you have any tips to jump a few generations or couple thousand years.
He shakes his head and has a weird smile. Not genuine. There's no crinkle in his eyes. His mouth just kind of turns up a bit. She is a bloodthirsty whore, but I don't think she has any interest in killing you. I'm just interested in what you think you'll do next time you meet her.
Be a good toy and dance, most likely. I don't know what I can do against her. Keep her interested, string her along, try to be fun.
He cuts you off with a hand held up, palm out, and says, I don't mean about what you'll do against her. I'm saying I don't think she has anything out for you. I mean, what are you going to do the next time you see her?
She doesn't seem that interested in talking to me, so probably just set up a meeting if you want. That's what I promised. Try my best to set a meeting up.
The Baron shrugs, then does almost like an additional shrug while like kind of pulling his jacket up to make sure it's settled nicely. He picks up the top hat he took off last night, puts it back on his head, and pulls out a fresh cigar, lights it, and gets it smoking, and then gives you a little wink and says, Listen, she's far crazier than either you or I am, maybe even together. Have some fun, just be careful. And he'll leave your house.
As he's walking out, he's literally gonna go, duh. Like, that was useless. That was an absolutely useless, devoid of all information talk. He almost sounds frustrated at this point with the bear. He's like, thanks for the, information.
So, about 3, maybe 4 hours later, you get the text from Rebecca saying that she wants to go drink. And then you start getting those mixed back and forth texts, including Abraham's note about he's visiting an old friend. And go forward with what you actually wanted to say.
Yeah, I'll text back to Rebecca, is it a pet-friendly bar? And then when he sees Abraham's text, and Abraham would know that he means this genuinely, he'll say, tell your friend I said hello. I hope you can still join us tonight.
She gives the location to like one of the vampire bars that they've been to, and then adds a bunch of dog emojis.
Oh, Rebecca's a trip. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Does that answer his question?
Then Theo would sort of like put on a nice trench coat and a nice one of his finer like old Western sort of outfits with a vest and a tie and a pocket watch with a gold. Spiff up a little bit, and he'll take out into the night looking for a late night pet shop.
Cool.
Now, I do need to check Abraham. Do you just mean that you need a little more time, or are you missing out?
I was just picturing that I would be there for a minute. Like, I will join in a little bit. Like I would love to join, but it makes sense that I would be there a little bit longer. So I'll join in after they've kind of gotten started.
So by about 1:30 a.m., Rebecca, Theo, Dinah, Luther, you've all been at the Kindred bar that Rebecca picked out. You've all had a couple drinks from the bar that, especially the Kindred, has already got you a little bit buzzed. Rebecca, you can report. It takes a lot for vampires to get too hardcore. So, Rebecca, I otherwise do need to know how hard in the paint you're going, because you can do what you want.
I don't know. We're gonna play it by ear. Like, she's not gonna be the only one to go crazy in a group of people who aren't going crazy.
Alright, so about that time, everybody's had a little bit. And Abraham, you walk into this place. Let me get some music changed.
I don't have detail that I didn't get a chance to. Theo would totally walk in with a large African gray parrot on his shoulder.
I'm not sure if she heard that. Oh,
I
nope,
did.
She heard it. She heard it.
I was trying to get the song going. So, club is pumping. Everybody's feeling good. Abraham's new to the party, but he hobbles along in, finds your table. Theo, you are sitting with a gray parrot perched on your shoulder.
A pretty large adult gray parrot.
Abraham, you're new to the party. If you have any thoughts or opinions.
I am not commenting.
Rebecca's gonna try and pet it.
It's a very friendly parrot. It was well raised.
Rebecca,
It's very friendly.
don't-
It also already knows how to say Abraham. That's pretty much all Theo did in between now and us meeting at this place was him trying to teach his parents to say Abraham. He may have conscripted some Bruja and a Ventru.
Gangrel.
Or yeah,
What's
sorry,
his
a Gangrel
name?
and a Ventru to try to accomplish his task.
What's his name?
You just need anyone with animalism, dude.
Yeah, but it's Theo. He's like, wait, what if we do mind tricks with it?
Doesn't work on animals.
Theo
What's his
doesn't know
name?
that.
I need to know.
Did you ask in character?
Mm-hmm.
What is your name?
Does it respond, Abraham?
Abraham!
Ah, it's apparently Abraham. I'll hold out a finger towards one of his claws to shake it.
Oh, this Abraham is so much more fun because he can fly.
Rebecca,
Abraham, was that in
if you
character?
would-
Sabata,
if
was
you-
that in character?
Yes.
Thank you. Needed confirmation.
If you acknowledge these actions, he's just going to think that it's okay for him to do these kind of things.
Is it not okay to have a pet?
I assure you, lack of acknowledgement has never stopped me from bringing pigs, goats, one time a lemur into the board meetings of Abraham's various companies.
Maybe
He
it's
can
a
attest to that.
sniper.
I'm gonna approach Theo, and then I'm going to go to this parrot and I'm going to look it in the eyes and I'm going to say, "Hello, my friend. If he gives you trouble, let me know." And use
Does it
one dot
respond to Abraham?
and use one dot in animalism to actually communicate with him.
Oh my god!
The parrot turns its head so that one eye is looking at you straight on, and from the eye contact, it goes, "Thanks." It's not words, but you get the feeling of
Yeah.
"Thank you." This has been strange.
It will not stop, but he is a nice man, if very weird.
It then squawks loudly, "Abraham!"
Hey, I'm not the one that's talking to birds in public.
So can I get you guys drinks? Can I do that?
Yes,
I
please.
suppose.
Sure. What will you have?
Do they have an off-the-menu selection here?
This is one of the
Yeah.
ones that you've taken me to.
I don't take people anywhere. What are you talking?
This is one of the ones that I've been taken to. So I don't. Okay, I'll just round of onegs for my friends.
Thank you.
The universal drink.
I just wanna see you order this. Like at this point.
Okay, well, feel free. I'm really good at it.
Does she think we need Oneg? Like, would like the? All right.
It's the drink everybody can enjoy.
Do you have a preference for? Do you have a type?
No,
Here,
it's-
look.
Rebecca,
Oneg.
It's all right.
No, Oneg
that's
is vodka. Everybody's fine with it. No one's like, all right, I know I don't drink vodka. No one says I don't drink vodka.
fine.
Like she
Rebecca,
said, no one's.
I don't want to hear it, Elvis. You will in the right circumstance. Everybody will in the right circumstance. Whatever.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. So she'll walk up to the bar. Who's at the bar?
Standard bartender number 33 as far as my game goes at this point. I don't know how many bartenders I've written for no reason, but yeah.
Is it a boy or a girl? Really, that's all I gotta know.
It is a young man with a short brown haircut, pretty cute, kind of like, a little crooked nose and like little acne scarring, but like it almost makes him look a little cuter because of how like nice his face is otherwise. It's like little nice flaw.
Yeah. She'll walk up and
Better descriptions than
she'll
random
kinda,
names.
knock on the but like just trying to get into the feel of how are you?
Absolutely great tonight. How are you? What can I get you?
I'm really great. If I could have one of the girliest drink that you have, and also 1, 2, 3, 4 Bloody Marys. Hold the Mary.
He gives you a wink at that, but right before he starts making drinks, he says, "Now, when you say girly, do you? I get fruit, of course. How sweet you want it?"
I mean, like if you could inject the literal Spice Girls into it.
Well, it's not October, but I'll see what I can find. And he walks off and starts making drinks. He comes back. He actually has one of those circular, like, waitress trays and sets down all the quote-unquote Bloody Marys. And there is a hurricane glass filled with a slurried drink that is 4 different colors. That took him a minute to make.
Okay, so she's excited. Because this is probably the fastest she's ever ordered vampire drinks in like her life.
It took a little bit. The Bloody Marys don't take that long because it's kind of prepared ahead of time almost. But yours you could see him like he was having fun with it because he loves when he gets those kind of requests. And you saw him like put a bunch of different colors and things in the ice and the blender, put it and then like poured another thing on top, and then there's a cherry and half a slice of pineapple.
Yes. So she's super into it. She's gonna, if she can, take the whole tray back to the group.
Yep.
Jesus, they gave you a whole tray for that?
Well, yeah, because I don't have 5 arms.
I mean, you could have made 2 trips, but
Yes,
that's fine.
I think Theo might be able to help you with.
I mean, one might be a little floppy, but whatever.
Also, I don't
Thank you.
mean to be one for challenging why we are out here drinking, but did you call us together for a certain reason? Is this for a celebration, or you just wanted?
Really, it's more we all saw some like genuinely horrifying shit yesterday, and I don't really know how to deal with that. I don't know if you guys know how to deal with that, but like now we have drinks.
No, that's fair. to be honest, I didn't see anything horrifying, but though I know of it, I guess. So what? If that's what you need, that's what you.
I don't. What do? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I was on a boat the whole time. I don't know what happened in there. I just know you guys needed some help getting out, and I helped you out. So that's all I really know. We saved some people. It's not, from what I understand, there was someone on the boat, Maggie, as I would call her, that I wish I could find, and that I wish we apprehended. But I mean,
No, you don't. If you apprehended her, there wouldn't be a boat or survivors.
That may be true, but I'm just saying that we had one plan of capturing everyone, and it, for whatever reason, didn't work out, and we're here, and we saved 12 lives or so. So we did all.
Yes.
Rebecca, you can't save everyone. We do what we can, and that's just how this works.
Yeah,
Celebrate the victories.
I do get that. It's just I don't like, how do you walk away from like literal slaves and not and just go to work, you know?
Theo will glance kind of knowingly at Abraham. This probably doesn't rank in the long run.
Hold on.
Elvis, your beard is looking really nice
Dinah
today.
just got really like suave.
Have you ever put in some beard product in there?
Conditioner and shampoo.
Oh, your voice.
It's like soft velvet dripping in my ears. Say some more.
Oh, hi.
Oh, no! Hi, Art. It was Art. It's Art.
Yay.
I made like a sweet potato pie thing, and I wanted a piece.
Jesus.
Well, actually, so, you guys, you have a good evening at this kindred bar. Rebecca got you all some drinks. I'm setting stuff up. I'm not saying you can't talk again. Just saying. Rebecca got you all guys all nice drinks, and like maybe even once you finish those, and she maybe even pushes you and kind of like punches anyone who's drinking too slowly, makes you all drink. She has her fantastic hurricane rainbow of a drink that is so many fun flavors. You're just like, I gotta get that guy's number just to like be like, where else do you work? Gets you guys a couple more drinks. Night starts to topple off hours later. You're all getting quite tipsy, if not a little drunk, off the proper kindred drinks and everything else.
Dinah. And
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Luther and Theo. So I know yesterday was shit. It was shit, but I did something very cool yesterday with Rebecca.
What'd you do?
How cool was this?
The coolest. I saw the sun.
Oh shit,
What?
that took a direction I was not expecting. What?
I saw
Wait,
the
hold
sun.
How? What do you like?
direction did you
She
think it
showed
was
you
gonna
a
be?
photo on her phone.
No. I was Peter. I was Peter, and I saw the sun.
Was it, as we imagined?
It was fucking astonishing, terrifying,
Was it still
Fucking
bright?
as can be.
I don't mean to downplay what you did, but that. Hold on. So you went into Peter's
you
body,
dare
as we
downplay
know,
that.
and
Don't you dare.
don't you stop. But you You went into Peter's body and you were able to
Stay
sit
awake.
there during sunrise.
On a bench in a garden at sunrise. Saw the sun.
That was just a fucking beautiful pain.
Fuck
No.
yes.
Did it hurt?
No, well, it was very scary. The beast did not like it at all, and I had to leave very quickly. But no, it
Okay.
was exhilarating and wonderful and terrifying.
Can we do that?
Learn to possess people, I guess.
No, I mean, can you put us into Peter or any other person?
I would not have done it normally. It was only because I was already there for the other thing, the ship thing. Maybe, probably not.
Congratulations! I don't know what to say in this kind of moment.
I know it was great.
That's beautiful, Abraham. That's beautiful.
That sounds absolutely beautiful. I envy you, purely.
Oh, and I had.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. Yeah, no, I envy you definitely.
And she gave me sushi.
Do
You
want,
got to eat sushi. I ain't never had sushi.
I
do
know.
you want to have? I mean, do you want to see it?
Yeah, of course we want to see
Yes.
it. But how?
Well, I saw it, and I saw it with him.
Yeah, but you probably
Mage
see the sunrise
power.
all the time.
Sure, but I mean, I do shit with memories. You
What?
know I do mage crap. Like just I can share that with you.
I love that, but it wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't be seeing it with my own eyes.
Yeah, I'll
I mean-
pass. Maybe it's a lofty goal, but I'd like to do it myself one day.
What? I mean,
Probably
what do you?
never.
What can you do with memories? Like my memories? Can you bring me back to those, or can you just do
I
your
can.
memory?
I can bring you back to your own.
Wait.
Technically,
I-
technically, I didn't see it with my own eyes. So there's that.
I think I'm with Theo and Dinah with this. I'll pass on the sunrise, but maybe some of my own memories. I'll go back on one of those, but that's for another.
You continue to chat, and now that option came up, maybe you dance back and forth from it. Maybe you get a little more alcohol in your kindred vitae systems, and you feel a little more tuned, but still, like, this is a night to relax with your friends after a long, dangerous adventure, and that's something you're way too titillated about to deny, but you're gonna, like, talk to Rebecca and say, let's find a good time, each of us, maybe individually, maybe as a group. We don't know what would best work for us. But you've now just found this amazing friend who's not only able to just provide this potential interesting escape into your past, not escape necessarily, just trip back, just a fun experience, a little bit of a, actual quote-unquote trip. And it's just an exciting thing. And all of you together at this bar grow a little closer together. You spend the rest of the night enjoying the music, the drinks, maybe some of you dance. I can feel probably the Toreadors do, and of course, at some point, Theo likely will be like, well, I gotta get in on this. And of
Theo
course-
dances with a parrot.
Oh, he dances with his parrot. And of course, Rebecca, the ecstasy mage, she's gotta get in on that. maybe tries to drag Abraham up for a little bit, couple little steps,
Absolutely.
couple
Theo
little
makes
steps.
Rebecca dance with the parrot.
She absolutely will.
By the end,
She was gonna cut in. Which would be
He's a good-looking parrot.
by the end of the night, you all feel like college friends who hadn't seen each other in a long time and just reconnected more than you expected to. Just this really solid feeling, and especially for the kindred, who you have some problems with humanity, you all feel great, and you head home. Everybody has a respective home. I do just need to double check with Rebecca, specifically about 48 hours later, whether you went and spent at your apartment that night. Where would you be a couple nights later? Would you still feel like you wanted to crash somewhere else, privately in a hotel, or with Abraham or Theo?
She would start to kind of like wean herself back into her own apartment. So like a day back and then maybe stay with Abraham and then another 2 days back and then like just
For that specific night, Theo's like, I can turn it into a couch. Do you want to cuddle pile?
she'll absolutely cuddle pile with Theo. But like maybe don't be a couch.
Alright, so about a couple nights later, 2 or 3 nights later, wherever each of you are, basically all of you at home, though Rebecca at Theo's, at any point that you go to leave your respective haven or room, specifically for Luther, because you have like a room in a larger place and you have, say, mail delivered to your room. You got like one of those little kind of like cubby things for like your specific stuff. Vincent has told everyone to put your stuff there. Or maybe it was just slipped under your door. Each of you have been left a monogrammed letter that you recognize by the intricately swirled M, meaning it's from the prince. Each of you open the letter, and in the case of Rebecca specifically at Theo's, you'll just end up seeing his. You open the letter, and it's maybe not too long-winded, but there's a lot of details of his appreciation for everything you did during the investigation about the auction, all the work you put in, even though you were not specifically obligated, blah, 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 blah. Lots of princey talk about, he just wants to say how much it meant to him, and so on and so forth. By the end of the letter, though, maybe some of you even kind of start to skim it. Maybe Theo especially is like, okay, get to the point. Dinah, maybe you're also a little bit like, okay, Marcel, what? By the end of the letter, you see a paragraph that has even just kind of it actually looks like it's a different ink, as if it was written last after a little while. And it mentions that the prince has, over his investigation, as well as people who have also looked into all the details he, and his associates have gathered, realize there is obviously the cleanest, quickest, most clear tie between all this shit that's been going on. Someone, whoever, even if it's the two people you found, if it's people they're pawns of, something is tying all of this to someone or some group, maybe, possibly, to New York. And as you read this, you're all starting to think, yes, actually, no, we found those cars, those license plates that were tied to New York. Some of you that were at the party on the boat and spoke to people directly remember them saying, oh, I'm from New York. Specifically, anyone who spoke to the mage that was captured. I think Rebecca and Abraham specifically. You heard him mention, no, I'm not from New Orleans. I'm originally from New York. And at the final last note of the letter, he says, if anyone is still interested, I wouldn't disregard any help, but I've already begun creating and putting together a bit of a task force to go and speak with the kindred in the city, speak with the prince there, and see what further information we can gather from there and stem this tide. Now, before anyone says anything else, I want to say, now you kind of all knew this was coming, but for our audience, this is essentially the finale of New Orleans by Night. Not for good. Not saying we'll never revisit this city, these player characters, these NPCs. Maybe they'll come back in a few months, a year, who knows. I like to play a long game, take a little break, do something else, go back and forth, just so, nothing gets too stale, goes too long, that sort of thing. What? What's going on?
No.
What?
Hold on.
Mike.
Cut out.
Mike,
Hold on.
cut out.
I don't know. Someone said
Huh?
I think maybe.
The fuck's going on?
Seems to be back now.
Okay, it's back now. It's back.
Yeah?
You're good.
I'm good? Okay. It seems like the overlay changed, though.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Oh my god, how did that happen?
Damn it, Cass!
How did that overlay change? Oh my god, everybody's names are different. Who are these
You fucking
characters?
Eggs.
Hi, mister.
What? Hold on. I need to fix this.
I haven't practiced rolling and so.
The fuck?
There we go.
The
Now
fuck
we're
just
different.
happened? The fuck just happened? I'm confused. I'm entirely fucking confused.
How did we get here, mister?
I don't know. I mean, we were in New Orleans for like 1 second, and then just like all of a sudden.
Hold on.
Oh, Jesus.
Now I gotta do all this switching.
Look at that goddamn beard.
Hey, mister, what brings you here?
I'm lost.
Did you bring your rat friend?
Both of them.
Oh, cool. I can't wait to see them again.
I forget the names. Can you remind me?
Hey, Spirit. Hey, Spirit.
Yeah.
Hey, Spirit.
Yeah.
I love you, baby girl.
This is the best.
From right in my
Oh, look at that
gut.
fucking coat.
Gotta do some camera work now.
Shit, I think my glasses are in the car.
Hey.
Oh, and she's gone. She's gone.
I ain't changing.
I mean, was she originally a part of us anyway?
She has always been a part of us.
I'm just forgetful.
One of us.
Tinkle time.
I just feel really happy that I went and got my lab coat out of the closet. That was a good feeling.
Okay, so for anybody not getting the joke while I fix these cameras, we just finished New Orleans and we're going to be heading back to New York by night. I have a lot more to say about that in a minute, but the end of tonight's game is basically going to be us having a little chit chat about the restart of an old favorite game. Well, somebody cover me while I fix the camera.
Hey, cool. Hey, so, got a question. Before we get back to New York, what do people miss? Or what do your New Orleans characters miss the most about being human?
Existing.
Nice.
Death.
Death?
Yeah, death.
Other people's death?
Way to be
No.
the Nietzsche of this group. All right, that's.
I mean, many are chosen for a very specific reason, because they are morbid and twisted.
That was a smart joke.
Alright.
You are all welcome.
All right.
I
Elvis.
personally
I feel
appreciated
smarter
it,
now.
but I wasn't going to go off on a tangent.
All right, Elvis. And Hope. What do your characters miss about humanity? And New Orleans characters. Hope, to be clear. While we
What
solve
does
this.
my human New Orleans character
No,
miss
what-
about humanity?
Shepard.
Yeah. What part do you... Since you started hanging out with vampires, what do you miss with normal social conventions?
She misses eating and feeling comfortable eating.
That's a fair point. It's got to be awkward to eat around a bunch of vampires.
Super weird. It's super weird.
We're watching you. We're like, take a bite of that. Take a bite
Right?
of
And
that.
she's like, is this okay? Is this rude?
What does it taste
I don't
like?
know
Tell
how
me."
you feel.
Describe it. Wait, let me just lick you.
We all
This is why
changed,
she doesn't
right?
do lunch with Theo. Like, she'll meet Theo for drinks, but maybe not lunch. Quote unquote lunch.
Get the chicken nuggets.
Get the chicken nuggets.
Chickens didn't come in nuggets back in my day.
Nuggets didn't come in chicken my day.
Abraham wants to relax over a cup of coffee again.
Abraham's gone, right? We're on to Angel.
All right,
But-
now real quick.
but-
Okay, if
but-
everybody from New Orleans said what they said, now what does
No, I
everybody?
Elvish and SCP.
All right, finish yours, and then we'll
What do you miss
switch
about being-
cities.
what does Luther miss about being here?
Ugh. What does he miss about being? Luther didn't have a good human life. Like, to be honest, he had a pretty shit human life. His life, if you were to ask him, his life really didn't begin until he became.
Yeah, but
Kindred.
like some kind of comfort food or just simple pleasure. Got to be something that he's like, man, I could use one of those again.
Luther's life was pretty much slave life, so I'm not sure how much comfort food he really has. It might be like, okay, so hanging out with his mom and dad would probably be the best thing, because
There we
once
go.
he
See,
became
that's an
kindred,
answer.
his mom and dad disowned him for being like a abomination.
Elvish.
Luther is such a sweetheart for having had it so rough.
Yeah. I almost came to, if Dinah would have told me that we could like go back into his past and have conversations with people, he probably would have came to you and be like, I need to talk to like my mom or my dad. from the past
Oh,
and
that's
go
so
over
cute.
all- It would have been cute. We'll save it for next time.
She can't do that though.
Cool.
I mean, she could replay some home videos, like memories home video style, though.
We could take some acid and just fucking we'll get it done. Like we'll get some conversations.
What
Are
does
we
Dinah miss
missing
about being-
just Elvis then as Dinah?
Yeah. So what does
Yeah,
Dinah
what-
miss about being human? I mean, solidly not having to sleep during the day is definitely up there. Otherwise, probably like having a family. Like, she was pretty close with her mom, and her mom got killed. So yeah, like normal human family interaction.
All right. So now that we're switching games, light switch for the end of tonight. Hey Hope,
Hi.
you are in a weird way joining the New York gang. Now your character has been in actually our New York Anarch one-shots here and there. But like, so that's why I would actually love to start with you, Cora the Malkavian. For everybody that has watched New York, and if you haven't, don't worry about it. We're kind of gonna be starting this in a way of like, I don't know, Riverdale Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's gonna be like, you can jump in, don't worry about missing anything before. You're gonna get to know these characters quickly and easily. But Cora, you were an anarch. From what I understand, we talked about Cora was feeling a little bit like these guys are going kind of nowhere. I'm thinking about going mainland and seeing what the Cam got going, because they've got a better setup for Kindred, all that sort of thing. But besides all that, and before we get to all that, what did Cora, and, you know, give us a touch or two, because people might not have seen much of the Anarch stuff as they might know these other 5 lovely PCs. What did Cora do as human, and what does she miss now that she's Kindred?
What did she do as human? Do you mean, like, what was her life like?
Like, a couple bits about, like, job and interest. Like, sentence or two. You know, Tinder profile. Go!
She loves long walks. She was in college when she was turned.
Mm-hmm.
Things that she did not have a job. And was she was a really proficient college student. She really misses her family, and probably like daytime activities, like cooking to eat, you know, like cooking to eat, yeah? Preparing food because it's what you want to do for your tummy.
No, it's a fun and meditative habit if you don't have to do it. And it's kind of like... Very nice. Koznark, as Ike, our child vampire. I think we might have asked you this question a long time ago, but maybe refresh us. What? Ike had a rough life in the first place when he was human, but is there something as a Kindred he just really misses he doesn't get to experience or do anymore?
Mom making you a sandwich and cutting the crust off and giving it to you while you watch TV. Cut in triangles.
Oh no, I feel like that's probably the saddest. I don't know if anyone could give a sadder answer.
Single biggest, like, I wish I could go back to that. He wishes he could go back to that. Remember, guys, we're back to Ike now. Shit gets real.
Yeah, it does. Alright, now, Articus, our lone wandering Tremere Felix. What does he miss about human life?
Let's see. He misses being able to taste Porto. Red wines in particular. That was something that his, I'm going to say this terribly, but his French-Canadian ancestry kind of called to. But he also misses some more simple pleasures as well that vampirism has overflooded as well.
Elvis Dame, dear Dr. Kim, our elder as a human, but younger vampire, what do you miss?
Kim is still very much in touch with her family as a younger Kindred, only like a year or 2 old. She misses, honestly, some of the more recent human things, like she misses eating some food. She misses being able to, mostly I think actually she misses being able to be up and around when her family is, because she still keeps in touch with them, but they have to wait until it's dark in order for her to be in touch with them. And she has a niece and a nephew that she very much enjoys spending time with, but half the time their bedtime is about when she wakes up, so it's a little bit hard.
Now, Zabani, our somewhat un-Toreador-ish Toreador, what do you miss about being human?
Angel mostly misses like simple pleasures because his life wasn't great before his embrace. To the point where he was gonna commit suicide, and the embrace stopped that from happening. So he misses the simple pleasures. Like he wants to grab a beer and like a burger and watch the game, or a long drive at sunset. Just simple, very simple. Anyone can do pleasure that he can't do anymore.
And last but not least, Super Chocolate Bear as our VIP from an old game, the Bruja Roland. Now you've kept up a lot of your old human activities, but what do you miss that you can't really do anymore?
To to end on a sad note, Roland actually has a real child and a girlfriend that he had to leave behind in his real life, and that is the actual thing that he misses the most, is the fact that he had like some two people that he really loved that he had to run from because of the law, and then he got turned, so he definitely couldn't go back to him. So those are the two people he misses the most, and the thing he misses the most.
Is that why he killed that family and adopted that girl?
That's why he didn't kill Clementine, is because Clementine actually reminded him of his own actual blood daughter.
So I didn't just like totally mentally write a whole bunch of stuff in my head. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm sure as a storyteller you wouldn't use that against him. That would be
Never. Never. But yeah, so for anyone watching, especially those who watch the old New York stuff, we've already been talking about this for a little bit. I needed to take a little break from New York to refresh my brain. I wanted to play a different setting, different characters, different players. I just wanted to do something different because I only get to play one VTM game a week with my schedule right now, and I was like, I love these characters in the setting. I don't want it to end, but I also need a refresher. Sometimes just, you need to put down that, 10-book novel series and maybe read something else for a change. So that happened with New Orleans, but I've had my refresher. Everybody is still madly in love with their characters from New York. I am still in love with New York, so we're going back. We're going back, baby! Not back in time. In fact, we're probably gonna do at least a little bit of a time skip, which I'm going to be talking to all the players about what they did in the meantime, that we're going to gloss over or forget any things that happened before. We're going to at least settle them out of game and explain what happens, if not address them directly. We've got a little bit of background homework. We got homework to do, and you'll all get to see it as the doting teachers of the. This is a very bad analogy. I'm gonna stop. So anyway, but New York is gonna be coming back, but it's gonna be kind of like not even a soft restart. It's just gonna come back. You're gonna know everybody. You're gonna know everything that happens, and some extra stuff happens. Maybe we'll figure it out. But right now, because I knew New Orleans had come to a really good end last episode, and I just kind of wanted to tie up some personal ends between the PCs tonight. That's what we did. So I just kind of actually really wanted to tie off tonight with a little bit of a intro, prologue, header, little extra stuff. A stinger. Well, I also like prologue. This is like, when you read the prologue of a lot of novels, you're like, well, it was great, it added to it, but it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like Avengers, like we just finished Avengers 1, and now like this is the stinger to Avengers 2 or whatever.
Oh,
I guess.
Okay, yeah, so this is either a prologue to New York or a Marvel movie stinger at the end where we're like, and then da. So now New Orleans is interested in New York, but what's going on in New York? Gasp! And Thanos shows up.
I think we can take him, guys.
Okay, real quick,
That time.
I wasn't gonna do it, but I was like, how fucking funny would it be like, okay, all my New York PCs, you show up in New Orleans, all the fucking fledglings and neonates, like, we can take them, guys. We killed a bunch of Setites. In any case.
Perfect.
In any case, I figured
Thanos shows up, roll for the snap.
I figured we would do almost the opposite. We did a couple episodes ago where we had to do like an impromptu podcast because we were waiting for Koz to show up to play his character, where we're gonna do an impromptu discussion and highlight some things we're interested about restarting New York. Now, so of course, I've already mentioned Hope is going to be joining us as Cora, who is a Malkavian. She showed up in a couple spare one-shots of Anarchs before.
Never mind, take her back. Take it back. Malkavian.
Don't be that way.
Take it back. Take it back. I don't want it.
She's a Malkavian. She was an Anarch, and I think the idea of that was that like she got embraced kind of into that. And then maybe yeah, you can explain. I wasn't sure exactly where you felt did she get Cam embraced and moved, or
Yeah, her sire is Cam. But her flaw has made it kind of difficult for her specifically to be very Cam. However, recently he's asked her to kind of come back, and she has.
Now, you're our new PC to New York. Unfortunately, for everyone who has followed New York, Muddy will not be returning as Nate, so Hope will be filling the spot happily. We're all happy to have her as Cora. So, in that case, just out of character, you don't have to share it if you don't want to. Generally, don't if you don't want to. But if you want to, for the audience, would you like to share your dementation?
Sure, I don't mind. She has transient global amnesia, so she has points in her memory where she will just stop picking up new information, and by the time she'll have a hard time with the recent information that she's gathered. And by the end of it, she doesn't remember what. After like when the episode is over, she doesn't remember what's occurred.
Okay, so there will be almost like she'll fall into what you might call like not necessarily a trance, but it'll be a state that between that state and the end of it, she won't know exactly what was going on previously, and by the end of it, she'll come back to herself and not know about it. Almost like a blackout.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot like a blackout. So basically, she doesn't, when she's in that state, it's partial retrograde amnesia and anterograde amnesia, where basically she can't store the information that she's been given. So by the end of the episode, she can't really remember what's happened.
Okay. And so she had a Cam sire, but wound up Anarch. Do you have a point of difference where she made that change? Because we also need to decide when she goes back.
Yeah, so point of difference was almost initially she was just mad at her sire, and then also she doesn't disagree with the Cam rules. It's just like high stress situations make her blackout. And so
Anarchs are almost like army recruiters where they're like, they're assholes, come join us. And I could see Cora being like, yeah,
I'll do that. I mean, that sounds okay.
And then you see that they're all fuck-ups too, so.
Yes. Her sire, who is a paranoid person, or he suffers from paranoia, basically had a flip out during, like, and I need to run this by you, but basically a recent event, like the Sedites attacking.
This
and
isn't
he's like, well,
nothing we say in this episode is permanent. We're just kind of we're airing things out. This is podcasty.
Yeah. Well, yeah, basically he suffers from paranoia. And so something's happened recently that's made him go, hey, can you be a little more in my life a little bit, because I'm freaking out. So yeah, I thought it would be neat to tie that into like an event that's happened in New York, but that's up to you.
Sounds great. We're definitely gonna address a lot of stuff out of game, make sure all that works, but definitely kind of want to just introduce Cora before we fully get going. For anyone who's watching, everyone who has seen New York before and is gonna get to see our new PC going forward. Now, Ike, my lovely, darling child Lasombra, previously fake Ventru, kindred, you've really almost fallen in love friendship-wise with a lot of our other PCs that are all Camarilla when you were pretending to be just for safety. But your sire showed up again, a master of the, darkest Lasombra arts, and he's beginning to teach you again. And now you're getting a little torn because you want to learn them, and you are. You started on the first bit of the path, and you've got a lot of things to deal with right now. But let me just maybe hear your earliest thoughts about how you feel with your interest in proving yourself to your sire, walking down your abyss mystic path, but still maybe staying close to Angel and Kim and all those people you really like.
I mean, I wouldn't put words in Ike's mouth.
No, but like
those
are all things you said.
Yes. I mean, yeah, so Ike's biggest thing right now is this weirdo, pseudo, kind of, his just strange-ass position in the middle of Camarilla versus Sabat, knowing what's going on. I don't know what the actual deal is, like how Nate's being written out, but I think it was that he is running off because his father has shown up and he's kind of like vacating and taking a break. So Ike is kind of like left reeling because that was his anchor, and I think he's probably gonna get closer with oh god, it's been a while. What's her name? Claudia. Thank you. Ike's gonna get probably closer to Claudia and try to strengthen his bonds with the rest of the group. Him and the doctor have, made some progress in building a working relationship and getting to trust each other, as well as Angel fucking stabbing him and staking him for no reason. That was fun. So like now there's a bit of a like chasm, like a way to start that interaction. I also think Ike is probably going to gravitate a lot more towards Felix than he did before, because Felix has that nebulous sort of like he's not all bought in with all the bullshit. He's kind of a floater like Ike, so he's probably going to like gravitate much more towards that if they can bridge the awkwardness between the two of them, but I'm sure they'll get around to it. As far as with fuck you, Zips. As far as with, Father, Ike is 100% religiously dedicated to the path of darkness, or the path of the abyss mystic. That's all he wants in life. That's all he wants to death. That's all he wants to achieve. So I think that's going to be a large part in his motivations going forward. But he's also going to make probably a conscious effort to balance himself, like a teenager who was confronted by an older friend going, you can be a cool dude, but like you need to fucking chill on certain parts of your personality. He's probably going to try that. Like, hey, maybe I should not be so one-faced and be a little more complex. And hopefully everyone around him is going to help him through that. Also, desperately attempt to not become necessarily anti-Tribute, but also not cause everything to go tits up because he sold out the Camarilla, because he is totally a double agent right now.
Very true. We're gonna kind of like hop to the other end. Super Chocolate Bear as our lovely Bruja Roland. What are you thinking? You just essentially succeeded in one of your major goals of like wrecking the local Setites. You, as far as you know, you helped lead insurgents that killed off, you think at least, and pretty sure from all the espionage you and the rest of your colleagues did, killed off all the New York Setites. At least anyone that mattered. So, what are you
killed
thinking?
them, and I am now king. That is my royal.
But you're in New York. You got Clementine. You also had a very, not too long before that situation where, like, she realized she was gonna grow up, and, like, you gotta really break down that whole, like, no, you're different now. So, like, what are your motives going forward? You get the club, you got a child to take care of?
Yeah, so as far as motives, obviously there's the club, the Rebel's Kiss. He feels passionate towards it, but it's just going to be his kind of like, this is how I make my money. His real passion is going to be making sure that Clementine is safe and that she gets raised properly. And in the background, I feel like it would be making sure that his sire isn't running around New York fucking shit up. Like he took a risk. He brought him in. He showed him to the Anarchs. He's like, here you go. I know he's kind of a fucking ticking time bomb, and he's a little bit dangerous, but he's my sire, and I owe him a lot. He feels like if it wasn't for his sire, he wouldn't be here right now. So he needs to. As much as he feels like he is like, hey, I fucking brought you back to New York, you're being blood hunted, you're safe now, like we're good, he's still gonna feel a little bit more like I owe you. You made me this, you made me better than what I was. I now need to make sure that you are safe and sound, but at the same time feel the same way towards Clementine. He needs to make sure that she is also safe and sound, and learning to be a proper kindred. As far as the Rebel Kiss, bleh, who cares? But the main thing is going to be Clementine, and then number 2 is going to be his sire.
Number 3 is not Felix.
Oh yeah, and then number 3 is Felix. Making sure that Felix is feeling safe with this fucking weird ghost.
I'm not seeing what's wrong.
No, nothing wrong there. Just Felix being weird with his ghost, talking to him, and just being overall
cool, chill guy. Yeah.
Overall chill goof.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, Zabani. You're obviously very, very close with Dr. Kim. You've got some interesting stuff besides all these other lines of topics that we've been talking about that you know about and you're interested in, especially you and Kim. Others have been informed about it. But the two of you also know about this, like, Envotech thing. There's this weird company in the city that the werewolves are pissed about, and they've been apparently doing weird stuff. There's a Toreador in the city that's involved with them. You just have, like, kind of a weird amount of things on your plate that aren't, like, your responsibility. But as a kindred who cares for New York and is younger and is like, I don't like the stuff I'm seeing from what are supposed to be our more responsible elders. Pissed. Like, just the fuck are you guys doing? Besides that, and with it, how are you feeling? How are you feeling with your personal relationships, these things you're seeing around you?
I mean, so Kim and I decided in this intervening time we've gotten our apartment together.
Mm-hmm.
We've solidly moved in together.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Angel is, for obvious reasons, stressed about the whole Kim Sire thing. What with the fact that he gave him a dementation.
Yup, you got some nightmare noises in your head for a while.
But yeah, like other than he doesn't really know yet what to make of all this Invotech stuff, because last we played, Kim and I basically gave the werewolves a folder of documents saying, hey, just happy birthday, please don't kill us.
Yep.
And kind of hoped that would solve the problem. So don't really know what to make of that. Other than that, like, I think that's the primary thing that Angel is focused on, is kind of hoping that going and directly confronting the werewolves doesn't literally turn around to bite them. And, the whole, moving in and just kind of hopefully getting back to a normal life, though, that's definitely not going to happen, what with the nature of playing a game. Also, I'm just excited for this apartment, really.
I am too. Now, my lovely Malkavian Dr. Kim, as everything's already been like semi-recapped, you've got that kind of Envotech thing you and Angel were very interested in. You just helped the others with the Setite stuff. But more even personally, you still have a little bit of a curiosity with those other Dr. Kindreds you've met. The one who met you recently wanted to speak with you and say, I think you as even a human doctor, you've been impressive. Now as a kindred, you're learning more. And my colleague, Dr. Netchurch, is interested in you. And you've found yourself in an interesting situation where you are you're learning that you don't need to just only focus on your human capabilities as a doctor, but you can expand more. And that's a safe avenue to follow, almost, it seems. But you've also got a little bit of a very strange Cheshire cat lingering around in the shadows now and then, poking at you, and you seem as frightened as excited when you see her around and when she seems to push you toward things. But, that in mind, just where is Kim's mind right now?
By the way, real quick, hashtag relationship goals for Ike.
Kim?
No, not Kim. What's her name?
Lily?
Yeah.
Lily!
Remember Ike has a hardcore crush on Lily.
Shit.
She doesn't even realize he exists, but he's like, I love you.
Be my mom or girlfriend, I don't care.
Alright, Ike's not that fucked up.
We'll see.
You have said both phrases basically before. I love you, or be my mom, I don't care.
I can't be responsible for shit Ike says.
Kim Kim is in a place where she's starting to kind of get more of a feel for what it means to be a kindred and what that means in the city in this particular context. She's really trying not to overstep her bounds, but she also is used to kind of being respected in her field, even though she's a very young kindred. And she does not want to be stuck just editing more supernatural cadavers for forever. So she is most definitely living with Angel now at this point, Angel being like her best friend. And honestly, I think we were talking about it earlier, me and Zavani, and we were saying that Angel definitely would not really decorate the place. And I was like, oh, Kim might, but she's not the most decorative person. So it would be like, she likes some nice things, but it wouldn't be like the most overtly whimsical thing you've ever seen.
I at least remember a conversation I was around for that it was like, it was going to be a decorated place, but it would be very interesting.
Yeah, but like the one thing that Angel's gonna like recommend in terms of decoration is, you know, maybe not so much of the fucking white, what with like Ike and all, just maybe not so much of.
I mean, with that, she would pay someone to come in and paint the apartment. But, she probably wouldn't paint it herself, but she'll like hang some pictures and stuff like that.
What? No cute painting montage with a paint fight.
No.
No, it's just Ike with like 16 tentacles, tornado in your arm. And it's like the wrong fucking color, but you guys are like, he's having fun. Just let him go.
Have fun. It's fine.
Well, I'll pay someone to paint it again later.
It's like when a 3-year-old tries to help with chores. You just kind of let them. They want to help, let them help. You just clean it up after them. But yeah, no. So otherwise though, Kim is more and more looking to either gain the respect of or break away from her sire. Because he's a giant oppressive asshole.
You're a little bit of I know the difference between psycho and sociopath, and I'm like trying to like, I feel like he's a little more psycho. But yeah, no, absolutely. And
she does not know that he's the one that he gave Angel a demontation, or she would solidly be like trying to get him in trouble. But aside from that, she's really just trying to kind of entrench herself within the kindred community of New York.
And last but not least, Felix. You have wound up a little bit still aloof, but oddly tied to everybody, one way or another. And also, besides your ties with helping the kindred you just met and kind of liked or trusted enough to help, more so than, say, the tower, because you came from even a chantry that was very, almost independent. They didn't like a lot of the tower stuff that was going on, so you don't like some of that, inferred cult attitude that you see in a lot of other Tremere places. So you're almost like, you went there first because you knew you'd be safe, you'd have a room, but now you're like, I don't like them. But you met these recent neonates that seem to have at least genuine personalities, concerns, interests, and like you're drawn to them more so even than the New York Tower. And also some of your own like kind of citywide interests. You met that very lovely Maria human that, you know, she's totally human. You were probably her first supernatural contact, but she did not shy away from anything.
I went for a jog, and she just joined with me.
Yeah, no, and you even took her to a graveyard where something went hella fucking spooky, and she was still kind of like, she was spooked, but she was kind of like, wait, what happened? So, like, I just want to know your feelings. You got these weird kindred that you like, but you don't know him that well. You've got a human. You're still a little aloof in the city, but like, where are your ties pulling you?
So let me start with the most important thing of Felix, and that is Candlestick, Bookshelf, and Bellhop. His three rats. That is
Candlestick, bed knob, and broomstick.
No, Bookshelf.
Bookshelf. Okay.
Yeah, bell, book, and candle.
As much as Ike would have loved him to name rats after that.
Well, we brought that up. That's why I remembered it. But so it's Candlestick. Say the other ones.
Bookshelf. Bellhop. Candlestick is technically Ike's fault.
Ike's gift.
But Bookshelf and Bellhop, it was of his own imagination based on Candlestick. Inspired by.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Yeah, he has a trinity of people that he has certain interests in the human community. Maria, Lizzie, and Taylor. So, Lizzie, he's shared a certain blood bed? I don't know the term that you would call it.
You gave it the kiss, and she was very interested, so...
But Maria is a kind of that special sweetheart that you can trust with what you tell her and everything that's going on. So especially how you run through an event and everything, like, there's no real panic. I mean, there was some panic, but not real panic. Everyone panics, but not that kind of crazy panic. But, he's interested in that. He's also kind of, like, even aloof in the groove, and certain dynamics, like, like he likes Roland, but he holds a certain self of almost prestige that he has, that he's not kind of quite used to in any kind of kindred society. Because Felix is used to living on dirt and mud, and, well, beds are nice, and Roland has beds, so that's kind of new. That's the unexpected. And with Clementine and everything in there, too. He's kind of found himself in this unexpected uncle role. That weird uncle that no one really talks about, but everyone talks about. He has Ike. Ike is this almost scary and dangerous child, but because of that, it's that anything he says could easily influence him to go a certain direction. He's like, oh, I don't know what to say, because suddenly, if I say one way, there's shadow tentacles. If I say another way, everyone's happy and lovely. And I've never raised a child before. I don't know what I'm doing. Please don't ask the French Canadian to raise a child. Don't ask any French Canadians to raise a child. Ask the Instagram. But let's see. Angel is this kind of aggressive yet passive person that is both aggressive and passive at the same time. Depending if you rile him up,
that's what
you don't rile him up. And what riles him up is maybe the things that don't rile him up. You're not exactly sure what to do with him.
He's not passive aggressive, the one term. He's passive and aggressive.
He's passive and aggressive. Or also aggressive and passive.
Depends on the situation.
All you need to do is remember, put a 4-leaf clover in your shoe and everything. Kim is also a dedicated yet too aspirating, is that the right term? Aspiring.
Aspirate is breathing.
Stop breathing so much, damn it! It's annoying.
As a kindred, I can still use that term. It's not necessarily his style, but he's like, oh, you could go places. I don't know what kind of places, because that's not the places I go to. So he's kind of just in this kind of loopy kind of way that he goes about himself, and he's definitely interested about not being a part of the Chantry and seeing what's going on, and especially if any kind of chaotic natures, which he feels that Roland will probably be the one to start it. that he could see himself getting in trouble with. He's the kind of troublemaker that it lays in front of him. He's like, well, I mean, trouble, yeah. As long as I don't go to super trouble, I can kind of mirror myself out of that. So that's it.
All right. Perfect. So that will kind of wrap up our early pre-prep game. I don't know what to call it. Just a fun kind of precursor to us going back to New York kind of discussion among our gang. Little impromptu, which, damn, y'all had some great answers. I did give you a little heads up, but you did a fucking great job of it. And I'm so excited to get back to a game that we've all really fallen in love with. We've as I said, we talked about it with me and the PCs. I've talked about it out of live games over Discord and stuff, and everyone's been so excited to get back to it. Everyone loves their PCs, so I'm so excited to get back to it just because of how excited they are to get back to it. So next week I will be gone for work, so there won't be a Tuesday game, but I think if everybody else will be good, I think I'll be good, and probably late November Tuesday, whatever Tuesday's after next, at very worst early December. Either way, week or two from now, we're gonna get started on New York again. New Orleans is gonna take a rest. It's gonna go on a hiatus like New York did previously, and we're heading back to the Big Apple, babies. We're going back up northeast. Yeah. So, yeah. As always, thank you guys so much for watching us live if you do on Twitch. Thanks so much to everybody who watches us on YouTube and subscribes. We really appreciate it. We love your comments. Like, you don't have to, but when you do, like, say if you found a character's comment or quote or something really funny, we just love to see that. It just makes us know that you're enjoying yourselves. Down below on Twitch and YouTube should be our links for the Discord if you want to join us there. We don't just talk about tabletop, though. Totally, if you want to talk about tabletop games, we do it there. But we talk about everything else in the world, too. So join us there. We have a great community going on. Of course, down below should also be whichever thing you're watching this on is either the YouTube or Twitch links. And yeah, so just join us in the future. We wanna hang out with you guys. We would do this on our own, as total losers, playing tabletop games, but it's so fun to hear and talk with you guys. Love you so much. We will see you very soon for some new New York by Night. Bye!
See ya!